Thanks, boss. This morning I went to the courthouse because at one of our last rallies here, a woman who was just sitting on the grass was grabbed by 6 policemen, arrested and put in prison for a few hours, and then was told she had $1,000 fine. So a whole bunch of us went to support it. She went to court and they just dismissed it. Just, nothing after that whole thing. So now she's looking into filing charges against the police for false arrest. That's not based on any. For the so-called pandemic. Anyway. And also Fulmach was doing the same thing in Germany, I believe. So, yeah.
Here in the Netherlands, we have the, how do you translate that? Outer Parliamentary Research Commission. And they interview lots of people working inside the police, and the stories they tell about how they are being manipulated to attack innocent people right now. It's out of this world, really out of this world.
Yeah. Yeah. That stuff needs to come out. It really does need to come out because, a few police are actually standing up and saying they didn't join the police force to terrorize, their fellow citizens. But yeah, a lot of police don't have that consciousness. They just go along with the whole program.
In that way, I see no difference with what happened in the 30s of last century.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's why this woman is looking to actually sue the police officers that arrested them, because if police are held accountable for what they've done, and they can't just hide behind, oh, I was just following orders, then maybe something will change when there's actually a consequence for behaving like that. And that makes sense to me. I was encouraging her to go for it. It's a trip, that we have to stand up like this, but what choice is there? I don't know in Europe how they're reporting what's happening with Fauci. I mean, they petitioned to get his emails, and his emails, it's clear that he was funding the Wuhan lab, which was weaponizing that flu strain. And before they were claiming they didn't know, they thought it came from a wet market and stuff, which was nonsense because it was funded by the US, by Fauci.
Yeah. Well, at least in the Netherlands, you hear nothing about it. The only thing we can find is on YouTube. And people who get filmed interviews from somewhere and who post it on their own website or something. But officially, you don't hear anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah. In London with about, my body, my choice. I don't want to be forced into having to get an e-vaccination. Over 1 million people. That's a lot of people.
And not a single item on the news here in the Netherlands. Not a single item on the subject.
Nothing. Yeah.
All we see is a handful of people somewhere in the Netherlands who gather, that's all.
And also nothing in Germany in the news.
No.
Not nothing. I only heard about it from your link on Facebook. That was the only one.
Mm-hmm. I do my best to try and post stuff so that people can be informed because, like you say, there's a media blackout.
Yeah.
I come to the point where I wonder why I should accept this government, any government at all.
Yeah.
Because my inner voice tells me completely different things from what they tell me. And even with the deal they made with the pharmaceuticals, if you don't have power over the pharmaceuticals, why should you have power over me?
Yeah.
To me, this is just the end of the line.
Yeah. I guess it takes enough people saying enough, really, we've had enough. But you're seeing, like in London, like 1 million people, that's a lot of people.
Uh-huh.
So who knows where this goes? My only reference point is like, I think quite a few of you have been to retreats, and the field that happens in the retreat, people come in there, and after a few days together, there's such a love bath. And I know that that's possible. And I know that it can happen quite quickly. And yeah, but there's nothing that says who knows what this all is good for. My God, it's a really funny time. How do we keep meeting the moment as the beloved and keep inviting, and love can say no loudly and clearly. Look, enough. It so reminds me of that whole story in Hindu literature, where Krishna went to Arjuna and said, listen, you're the warrior, we need to go to war now. And Arjuna said, but they're my uncles and cousins and family. And Krishna said, yes, but look what happens if we don't. We have to fight. And so at this point, to me, it feels like we are in a kind of a war, but it's not with guns and it is with force, because you see what the police do and how they come down on people. But yeah, somehow people are still standing up and going, no, it's enough.
A friend of mine is working in the Senate here in the Netherlands. And he showed me his diary and the things that were discussed in politics. And it is, they just don't touch the point. They talk about everything that happens in the world, but not about this. It's almost as if they don't know what's going on, or they don't want to know. I don't know.
Yeah. It seems like when anybody speaks up, the amount of fear that has been engendered by all this, every hour on the hour, so many people, so many cases, so many people have died, all this, that when somebody gives a different perspective perspective, people feel like their existence is threatened, and so they respond like that with like such a heaviness. It's like how to keep speaking and say no clearly without going into making people wrong, or not easy. Well, yeah.
I can just say the same like yesterday, you know, with this process in becoming more or getting more into their own strength or power and losing the fear slowly, I have the experience, at least the last weeks, that I connect more with people. They have the same interest, actually. Something like this happens. Or, like I said yesterday with the doctor, just clearly know without that he can come into me with arguments to try to change me. There I feel something.
Yeah.
And what happened, I had really like a thirst to get more information. You know, that I really stand with information in the background. And yeah, that was very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I find it very difficult. How can I explain this? How to position myself in this? Because on one side there's this system which is triggered quite a lot, I can say. And on the other hand, if I go into deep into myself, into resting in peace, most of the time I notice that there's still that urge to go back again into that part of me which is triggered and to express something. And I find it very difficult to get in, to stay in balance there.
Yeah, no, I understand. I mean, yeah. I have a son that considers me a conspiracy theorist, and he really thinks everybody should get vaccinated and all that. And it's so painful to me because, you know, it's like it's so difficult to have any conversation with him. Like tonight I was talking to him and I'm saying it was just, I changed the topic to Julian Assange. I said, so here's this man in jail for informing people about what the governments are doing, what the military is doing, killing innocent civilians and stuff. And for that, he's been in prison for all this time. And he responded by, yes, there's laws to, to protect secrets. And that's what a whistleblower, that's why they whistleblowers, because, but man. Yeah. And I was just reading a thread. Someone said, yeah, break the laws and pay the consequence. I said, yeah. If you don't stand up against, I could say, laws that are not just, then you face the consequences too. So somehow, yeah.
Yeah, I want to say something. My father has been vaccinated. Is this the right? I think so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In spite of I sent him very much films and documents about the dangers of the vaccination, and I asked him, "Did you not wait for the winter? Because I think in the winter there could show what the vaccination will do with us." And he said, "I said, didn't you hear that some people have been died after the vaccination?" And he said, yes, people always die, millions die, but it's nothing to do with the vaccination." And I said, oh. And
that's the trouble. It's just somehow to find a way to talk to each other is very tricky.
Last year I was with him in Switzerland in the holidays, and this year I will also, but I don't want to talk with him about Corona, and I want to protect myself from the television, because he's looking the whole day, the news from the television, and he's believing in, and I was so shocked that not a little bit of the consequences of the vaccination came in the television in Germany, I think. It's unglaublich, unbelievable, I think. Yeah. And the other point is, I want to ask, I have the luck at the moment in our hospital, we have no force to vaccinate. We must not vaccinate, but I think 99% of the colleagues are vaccinated. And also the people who come, the patients, have the possibility to get the second vaccination here near Freiburg. I am to get the second vaccination here, and it's an unbelievable. But I want to ask the other Germans: is what is with yours? Is there also a freedom to get vaccinated when you're working, or have to be vaccinated? Because I heard more and more that is a condition to work.
Yeah. In Australia, they trying to make, I mean, it's so funny. There's like you hear about where they offer people donuts or tickets in a lottery where you can win a million for getting a vaccination, or they're going into school and offer kids lollies to get vaccinated. Really, it's very strange times.
Yeah, strange. And if you want to just ask, the police came, and there is a bus driver. He is very, wie soll man sagen, rebellish, like a rebellion, and he goes to the discounter and he goes to the vaccination center and asks questions, and then a little bit later the police came. But he just asked questions, had nothing done, but the police came. So crazy.
Yeah.
And he asked the leader, I don't know whether you know, but when you are holding a vaccination center, you earn a lot of money. Yes, as a doctor to vaccinate people. Not so bad, not so bad. And he asked him, how much do you earn? And he said, I don't tell you that. And he asked, do you tell the people what can happen with the mRNA vaccination, and what are the consequences could be? And he said, no, the people can inform themselves before it. So crazy. And then the police came, then the police came. So crazy. Yeah.
Very, very out integrity. So far away from our medicine, this, what would do no harm, and all that stuff. Yeah. But the main thing is just as we hear and we see what's going on, and how do we stay true to love and to our knowing, and not, it's a delicate dance. Easy to get completely pissed off and easy to get completely upset.
Isaac, I have a question. These days, especially this morning, I feel a lot of burning in the body. Do you mean this is also this field, just this intensity? Yes? Because even in the morning, waking up, the first is this issue, it's and going to sleep, this burning really strong happens, yes.
The field, I mean, some people are turning off their televisions and trusting their own knowing, but many are not. And so that's the field. The field is terrified in a certain way. And also what these lockdowns have done to people in terms of people losing their businesses and losing their income, and children being, having to go to school with masks on. It's just like,
so
the ramifications are huge.
Yes. Also, I heard just yesterday that 150 million people more suffering on hunger now because of all the lockdowns and this. This on top of what happened before, and it's just you can't take it what happens actually in the world right now in a way.
And I'm not sure how much you guys know of what's happening in India, but there's so much, push to stop very subsistence farmers from being able to farm. So it's causing huge distress in India at the moment, because so many people are just subsistence farmers. They grow, that's how they live, growing a few veggies and selling them. Just being the space, being the space of everything that's happening. Okay.
Yesterday, I had suddenly some vision shortly. It was after satsang that really, as we feel it in the field when we are coming together, just to feel the whole field in the world, just something like this just came so spontaneously, and there was a little bit this hope that something can change, maybe to the peaceful side, something like this. Maybe between.
look at the whole thing from the perspective of the mathematical principles that govern existence, then this period just had to happen. It's part of the rhythm of life, and it's exactly in line with what happened in the 1930s in the last century. Exactly the same timing, exactly the same steps, exactly the same things that happen, and it's unavoidable. The only thing that you can avoid is what happens within such a period. But in order to do so, you have to become conscious, and that's where most people get stuck. So that's why it's just a repetition of what happened in the past. And as long as people don't see,
it's an interesting,
nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea. I mean, if you look from what happened in the 30s to now, where you're getting 1 million people marching, something is, you know, and worldwide, there's a lot of people that do see what's happening. So who knows which way this will go? We don't know, and we don't know what any of it's good for. We just know that it's happening right now, and yeah.
This came yesterday also, like when Byron Katie, you know, suddenly the time with Byron Katie was present, and this that everything is, every moment is right, something like this, even what happens now, even I can't understand it really, you know, but it is a good reminder somehow, yeah, to connect with this also, that it is how it is somehow, and we really don't know for what it is actually.
Yeah. And to see, genuinely, we don't know. We don't know what anything, we don't know what it's good for. We don't know, all we know is we're here. And we know what we love. And yeah, we know that to rest is what we are, is what we love. It takes no effort. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be heartbreak or, just watching this movie happen, for sure not. But then there's the question of, does your heart break open or does it break closed? Does it stay just here? Or does it go into a contraction? And Hey, Marisha.
So how dangerous is it to be together with people who are vaccinated? Do you have a clear information?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not an expert on that. I do know that there's a number of people that are quite knowledgeable that say that people that have been vaccinated are actually going to be the incubators of new strains.
I heard this.
Yeah. So yeah, it's such a crazy time. It's just like, yeah, just watching the movie and seeing, you know.
For example,
Kind
my
of what.
song teacher, he just, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He will be vaccinated and we meet regularly, nearly every week.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
now I send him what I send you about this
Mm-hmm.
seed, and he said, oh, okay, can I send you also something? I said, yeah, please, that we understand better each other. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
I mean, life is a risk anyway. I don't know. So
Yeah.
I don't want to break
Yeah.
this contact also.
Yeah.
But yesterday my
I mean,
husband said something, and
yeah.
then I said, no way. Then we are not lovers anymore. Okay, so I mean, yeah, I have the feeling this wouldn't be good. Yeah.
It is such strange times that we're living in, and everybody's kind of looking how to navigate it, you know. It's yeah.
Thank you very much. I have to go. See you.
Yeah, sweetheart. Ciao. Yeah, we can. Great.
I was just waving Marisha.
To Varisha. Okay, good. Well, beautiful.
But thank you for offering the space here to meet and to
Yeah.
also to get informed.
It's nice to be in the company of people that see. And yeah.
Yeah, in my
It's
surroundings.
amazing. Yeah.
Sorry. I wanted to
You
say,
speak. You speak.
yeah, in my surroundings, it's mainly the parents of the children that go to school that are very upset with the tests and the vaccinations.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is also
Yeah. Today. Sorry, you speak.
yeah, there's a petition in Germany against the mandatory vaccinations for kids. And I think there are.
That is so crazy. That is so crazy. My God. Yeah, for me, it was interesting today. You know, I went to support this woman who'd been arrested at the last rally, and there must have been about, I don't know, 20 of us there. And so, you know, you have to wait until they call you. So we were sitting around having a coffee and talking. And, you know, over the years, I mean, I have no idea how many hundreds or thousands of people have come to the meetings, but there were a few people there that were sitting and saying, I don't know if you remember, but, you know, 20 years ago, I came to a meeting and something just clicked for me. And there were a few people there like that. I would just, oh, wow, fantastic. You know, because for me, you know, something happens and you see it happening in that moment and you never know where it goes. And then in this meeting about suddenly reconnecting with people that I they don't come to meetings anymore. I don't see them, but suddenly them just saying, oh, wow, you know, I came to that meeting and something just clicked in, and it's, you know, it's just really changed my life. It was nice. Yeah, for me, I find there's such a delicate balance of just being present to all the craziness that's going on, and at the same time being touched by it. In a way, it's heartbreaking, but then just either the heart breaks closed or it breaks open. Doesn't mean it's less painful, but it's just like not, yeah. Strange what we're being asked to be present to in a way. Just.
Yeah, for me, sometimes it feels like it's just too much.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And,
I can so understand.
and then I can see the tendency to go, or not to go, to somehow in the direction of depression.
Yeah, yeah.
And I find it very difficult, yeah, not to follow that road.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for speaking that. I really understand this, especially when we feel very alone in our seeing, you know, in our knowing.
Yeah, sometimes I don't get it. Almost everybody around me is believing this whole story. And I mean, it doesn't change anything if you try to explain something or just to say that's my view or that's how I feel it. I mean, you can be with the people and then don't talk about Corona, or you are on your own. Sometimes it
Yeah.
feels like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's so strange.
I understand. Yeah, I understand. Mm. Yeah, for me, that's part of just us meeting like this, just that we can include it in the conversation, and it's okay that it's here. We know, we see what's going on, and resting together. Just okay, yes. There's other people that see. We don't know what will happen out of this. We don't know the mind of the great intelligence. We just know we're here. We know what we love. We love peace and remaining at peace, regardless of how crazy it is. Not making peace dependent on the world not being crazy, because then we'd never be at peace. And then, it's just like this moment here, just this instant. Can we meet this moment as the beloved? And this instant. And what will come, we don't know. I mean, in some sense, we do know that at some point we'll go to sleep and we won't wake up. And that's okay. But in the meantime, we're here. And that's it. Just as resting. when I just rest here like this, it's so peaceful. I don't know how it is for you guys. It's beautiful.
There's even joy in that moment. No thoughts about things that disturb me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and then if and when we need to take action, come from that peaceful place. That's all. I need to go to the bathroom. Maybe we'll make it a short meeting. You want to speak, Tanda?
Ursula, I have to leave now, but I thank you so much for this morning, and I'm very, very touched by it. Yes, thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for showing up and just keeping to explore and staying present with each other in a sweet way. Thanks, Bas, for hosting. And good night, all, and good morning, all. Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. So.